everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a part 2 of a tutorial that I did about 2 weeks ago, and in that tutorial we made a bakery game where you can create your own donut. But in this game we're going to be enhancing it a little bit so that you can not only create your own personal donut, but there are customers that you have to fulfill their specific requests for specific donuts. So when you're following this tutorial, make sure that you have already completed the full tutorial from the last video. And if you want to check that out, the links to the example project and the tutorial are down in the description. So once you've finished that, then you can move on to this tutorial, and to see what the game is going to look like in this tutorial, you can go to the link down in the description to see the example project, which is Bakery Game 2 Donut Shop. So the previous one was like a donut maker, and this one is a donut shop. So I remixed my old project, and I'm going to be editing it and showing you guys how I make it so that there's an example donut up in the corner, and you have to make your donut match and sell it. So let's get started. I'm gonna share my screen so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing while I make it. So here we are in our bakery, and see, the very sad thing about this project is that previously we have this beautiful little music button here, but for this project, since we're going to need an example donut to be somewhere, and there's not much room on the screen, we're going to have to delete this. So sadly, this is going into the trash. But I think I don't have it in my I don't have it in my backpack here, but I had a notebook that's going to be up in this corner that will show you what your example donut is supposed to look like. So to have an example donut, you basically need to duplicate these three things, because the dough needs to change to something random, the frosting needs to change to something random, and the sprinkles need to change to something random. And then we need to set up a system to check what this donut looks like and what the example donut will look like to make them match. So the first thing that we're going to do is draw a new sprite for just the paper that the order is going to be on. So I'm going to go like reddish and make it, or maybe kind of like tan-ish, so it looks like real paper, a little bit of gray. No, that doesn't look like paper. There. So I'll make a little piece of paper, not that big, and then give it like a gray outline so it still looks like paper. And this is the paper that our order is going to go on. This will go up in the corner. Let's make that a slight bit bigger because they need to be able to see the donut. Then to make it look like we are so busy and we have so many orders that it's hard to keep track of, let's duplicate this and put that behind it, so it looks like we've got quite a few papers in their stack. Move that to there we go. So it looks like a nice little paper stack up here, and then we need to make the donuts put on top of it. So to do this, we're going to right click, duplicate the dough, right click and duplicate the frosting, then right click and duplicate the sprinkles. And then, as we did before, we need to make sure that they're all on the exact same spot so that they line up like this. Now let's move the dough first to over here so that we know where we want it to be, and then we need to make this smaller, so let's make this about 70% of its original size. Is that good? Let's make it like 65. There we go, that's nice. And then we can see that the X is 192 and the Y is 124. So let's go into the code, and when it receives cell, we don't need any of this yet, so let's just delete that so that it doesn't mess anything up. Then when it start clicked, we want it to go to 192 for the X and 124 for the Y. And then let's duplicate this for our, oh, this is changing. So whenever it does that and I'm trying to drag something over to copy it, I change this view so that it doesn't glitch. And then it's fine. So pro tip, if that ever happens to you, it usually happens when you have a certain amount of sprites and like it's kind of messing up with the scrolling. It thinks you're scrolling and you're like trying to put it in different ones, but it's not. But anyway, so let's go back, let's go to the frosting, make this one 65% of its original size, and that one, don't need any of the cell stuff. We do not need it to switch to a certain costume. We need it to go to this. Perfect. And then let's also duplicate this to the frosting. I don't know where that just went. Yes, it did. It went here. But twice. Oh well. And then let's take this off and see what happens. So let's make, actually, forgot to make the frosting the right size. Let's make this 65. And there we have it. We have our duplicate donut here. And then we need to make our donut switch to something random every time it sells. So when the sell button is clicked, let's go to the end of when it's done selling. So when the sell button is clicked, it broadcasts sell, and then so this is the end of it. When they get their money and the bag goes away, then we want the donut to change. So let's make a message that we will broadcast to all of the donuts to make them change something random. So randomize target donut. That will be the message that we broadcast. And then when this one receives randomized target donut, then it will switch to a random costume. So there's 3 costumes, and then we're going to want that to be, then we'll go to operators and then pick a random 1 to 3. So as you can see, this will randomize what color the dough is. So then we'll want to duplicate that into all of the other ones. You really don't have to code everything by hand twice. I love doing this drag thing where you just copy it into everything. Makes everything so much easier when you have multiple things that are supposed to be doing pretty much the same thing. So both of those, let's see what happens when we broadcast randomized donut. Where is it? So let's go to events and then broadcast randomized target donut. And as you can see, everything is changing. All the sprinkles, the frosting, the dough, everything is changing. And when it's changing, we need something to be able to track its change. So to track what each one is, we're going to need to have a code. And the code is a combination of the numbers of each of these costumes. So all of these costumes are named a number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. So the code for this, like let's say this donut is pink with purple frosting and green sprinkles. So the code that we're going to make is going to be 3, 1, 3. And then the code for this one, if the code for this one is 313, which means it's going to look like this one, then you'll get your money. But if it's not, then you will not get your money. So let's make it so that that can be tracked. So after the target donut is randomized, let's go back to the paper bag, and so let's see. Actually, let's go to cell first, because we only want it to broadcast cell if they do it right. So we need to make two variables, a variable for the donut that you're making's code and the donut that is the target donut's code. So let's see, target code and regular donut code. So if we need an if-else statement from control, and if the regular donut code equals the target code, then cell. And if not, it will not sell. And it'll take away some of your money, so you get like negative tips. So let's see, they'll take away like a random amount of money. So a random amount from like, it should be like in cents, like not a lot of money. So let's make it from 0 to 0 to 99, and then we'll do a join, and a join just joins two strings together. So this one will be 0 point, and this one will be random 0 to 99. So this will give you a random decimal. And then it'll change it by, let's make this negative so that it will take away money. There. And then we'll add some sound effects later, but for right now we just need to focus on the code. So here we have, if the regular donut code equals the target code, we need to have a place where the regular donut and target code are set. So let's go here, or let's go here. And then after, so we'll need the regular donut code to be resetting constantly, and we'll need the target code to only be reset once. So it'll only change after everything has done its randomization. So we'll have it wait like 1 second to make sure everything's done, then set the code. And obviously there's not going to be any glitches, because no one's going to be able to make the donut in 2 seconds and then they or in less than 1 second and they press send. But either way, let's do set target code to, and then we're going to use some more joins here because we want to join the costume names, or like the costume numbers, to tell what the donut looks like. So we'll join the costume number of this sprite. Then we'll go to sensing, where you can see where this sprite can tell the costume number of other sprites. We'll go get here. Let's do frosting 2 and change that to costume number. And then sprinkles 2. Where's that? I'm not sure I named it. Oh yeah, I named it frosting 4. And also, guys, if you are making a project, I would strongly suggest labeling your things right, because it makes things a lot easier when you're troubleshooting. But I didn't do that here, so I'm setting a bad example, kind of. But if you were in another situation, you were being smarter than me, then you would label everything. So in my other project, I probably named this like sprinkles. I actually named everything right, I think, but this is a different version of it. But anyway, let's do costume number. So here we have 313, like I said before. So then we also need to make it set we need to make it set this, so let's put this in here. So set target code to 313, then let's check what target code says, 313. So that worked. Then let's go to the regular dough, and we'll do the same thing. So I'm just going to drag this from here, and then I'll change the variable once I duplicate it to the dough. This will be regular donut code, but this needs to be constant. So from the beginning, we're just going to add this to one of our when start click things, and then make it a forever loop, because it needs to be constantly syncing what the user has changed the things to. So it's this costume number, then regular frosting 2, which is the sprinkles, and then let's change this to costume number. So this one is 111. So this will be always setting the regular donut code to, oh, I need to take that outside of it. Delete that, and then we'll see that our regular donut code is 111, but if we change this is 211, or if we change something else, then it changes like 232, whatever it is. So now we have it so that this will match up with this. And then let's see if that works. So let's go to start, click to start. And this is, oh, see, we already have where it says to randomize target donut, and you get this, but we never actually sent that message to randomize the donut. So let's go to the bag, and at start, we'll send out something to randomize. There we go. And then let's try to match this donut. Oh, what's happening? Why is that changing? It's changing the dough color of this one. Oh, I know why. When I duplicated it, I forgot to take out this change dough thing. So when you duplicate these, make sure that you take out everything that you don't need from the previous thing. So let's actually try to match this now. Well, let's reset it. Okay, so it's pink with green frosting and these sprinkles. Is that wrong? I'm not sure if that's wrong or not. Let's see. Let's check our variables. This equals 331, and this is 3. Wait, that's 311. That's 331. Is that? It looks the same. What's wrong with it? Let's check and make sure that we have it right. So the regular donut code says that it's 331, and this is the third one. And this one says that it's 311, but this is the third one. So let's check on where we had this. This is checking it's checking frosting 2 and frosting 4. But it's actually frosting 3 that we're looking for. See, this is what happens when you name things wrong, because you're thinking that you're using the right one, but you're not, so that it just ends up being trouble. So let's reset this once again and try that out. Okay, so it worked. So now we have where you have to match the thing and you can sell it. And I also had a feature where you can open and close your notebook. It doesn't really make much of a difference, but I just wanted to show you guys how to do it just in case you wanted to make it look exactly like the other project. So here, let's take off this slanted one and just use the square one so it looks the same. And then we'll make the notebook pink like the rest of our theme here. And then the outline would be, let's make this like a darker gray and a lighter pink. That's not the right color. Then we change the outline. Let's see. Make it same as this, but darker. No, I want to make the outline lighter. Let's make the outline gray. And then we'll do my orders. This is the same color as that, so let's make this also gray. Not sure if this is just me, but I always like the text inside of a button or anything to match the borders. I think that's just my personal preference. But other people might like it like that too. And then we're gonna add some binding because it's a spiral notebook. And then let's change this text style to make it fancier. Gotta stay fancy. And then we'll need some circles to make the binding. Let's start out with just white. I want the outline to be white and the filling to be transparent. And then we'll want this to be like 14 thick. But we don't want this part of the circle to be there, so take the eraser and chop that off. And then let's rotate this a little bit. Rotate it this way. And then make it shorter. We'll put a ring and then make that a little bit thinner. 10. We need this to be kind of more like that. Like more on it, I guess. There we go. Let's actually make this the same color as the outline because I think that would look nicer. There we go. So now that this is more like that, let's make it a little bit thinner. And then we'll copy this, and then when you copy something in Scratch, if you don't go to the next costume and then come back, it will copy it like slightly to the left, but I just want it to copy right on top of it so that it'll be on the same, like exact same line. If you want to move it, then that's fine, but I usually just want it to be on the same line because I'm not very, see, it does like that, but I don't think if I do it like this, then it'll get exactly where it was before. So I'm gonna come back to it and then paste, then move it down with my actual down key, so it doesn't move to the left or right at all. Then shift select both of them, group them, copy, leave, come back, paste. Move that down till we fill up the entire binding with the entire side of the notebook. See where we are right now. So we're about halfway down, so let's just copy this group. Wait, group copy. Oh wait, not paste yet. Please come back, paste, and have it, let me zoom out a little bit, go straight down. There we go. And then I might need a few more rings, but they're grouped right now. So I'm just gonna copy this individual one, paste that. There we go. And then we have our orders book, but we need to make sure that they are toggled between them. And then when it's in this one, this needs to go in front of the donut. So to make that, we will go to here, and when start is, oh, click something. When the start is clicked, go to events. When start is clicked, then we want it to be closed. So switch costume to number 1. And then whenever it is clicked, we'll go to events again. When this sprite is clicked, then we'll want it to, we'll need an if statement for this. So it should always go to the next costume no matter what costume it is right now. And then we'll do if, we'll need an equals and a not, and one more if. And then let's go to looks and get a variable for the costume number. So if the costume number is number 1 after it switched its costume, then we want it to go to the front layer, and we want it to keep going to the front layer until it is not that. So we'll get repeat until the costume number is not number 1. Put that there, and then get the go to front layer. And then what to do if it is not on the first costume, which is the book cover. So when it's on the inside, we want it to go to the back. So let's just duplicate this and change it. So when the costume number is number 2, which is the open papers, then we'll want it to go to the back. Where is that? This is back. So let's try that out. Oh, and at the start, we want this to go to the front. But this one is, the sprinkles are going to wait 0.1 seconds before that to go to the front, so we need it to wait a little bit after to make sure it's at the very, very front. So let's go to control and then get 0.2 seconds and then put that before it goes to the front. Let's try that again and start. So my orders is at the top, and then if we click it, it opens up and that's on the front. Then let's try it. And so it keeps going back and forth, so you can open and close your thing now. And the last thing that we need to do is add some sound effects. The sound effects is going to be like a little right and wrong sound. So let's go to our cell button. sounds, and then these sounds are just from the library. And I've used them several times before. I'm not sure. I don't remember what they were called. I think it was it up? No. It was. It's in effects. Where was it? It was connect and disconnect. So let's get connect and then come back for disconnect. So disconnect is like a bad sound. I'm not sure if you can hear this. You probably can't hear this, but this is like a disconnect sound, like you did something wrong. So if they didn't do it right, then it will play that sound. So play sound disconnect until done, then they lose their money. And then if they do it right, then we'll play sound connect, and that means they got it right. So that's it. Let's try our game and see if we did it right. Let's see how it goes. Click to start. You can see what I'm trying to make. It's slightly different sprinkles. So, oh, we have a glitch. So let's see. I don't think that. Oh, I know what happened. Okay. So when it broadcasts it sells, and then it doesn't ask it to randomize again after that. So let's do, when it broadcasts sell, we're going to do broadcast and wait. So when something broadcasts and waits, then once everything that has received that message is done doing its thing, then it continues on with the rest of the script. So once it's done with that, then we'll use this leftover one and then do randomized target donut. So let's try that again. The dough should be pink with blue frosting and green sprinkles. So, and then it changes. And then let's try that again just to make sure that it works. And it does. Did it change? Let's try doing that again. I think it did change. Yes, it is still randomizing. So it looks like our game is working so far. Alrighty guys, so if you guys enjoyed this tutorial and you followed it all the way through, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and remember, the link to the previous tutorial is down in the description if you missed it, and a link to where you can do all of these games. You can try them and play them yourself. Those are down in the description. I had a great time with you guys. I hope that you learned a lot from this tutorial, and I'll see you next time. Bye!